leave and not return. Saw Jordan Love leave and return. All sorts of in and out for Green Bay, but they take one away here against the Giants. In to assess with the fellas as the Packers get a much-needed ugly one, if you will. It felt like at moments the Giants might be able to pull this one off, Mac, but Green Bay, in the context of that NFC North, this was a must-win moment.
You better believe it. It felt like the same storyline for the Green Bay Packers. Offense a bit stagnant, playing around with your food against a lesser talented team and finding a way to lose this ball game. But they found a way to win. And hats off to Jordan Love. He was battle tested. He left the game for a few plays, came back in, made things happen. But we're still not seeing the Jordan Love type numbers we thought we would see in this offense. But he had enough today, 174 yards through the air, 2 big-time throwing touchdowns, and they were perfect in the red zone, 4 for 4 in the red zone. That was the deciding factor in them winning this ball game, along with making the timely, necessary plays on the defensive side to be able to come out on top.
Yeah, when this team is successful, it's all predicated off the run game. In the last 2 weeks, the running game has not been there. As we saw Josh Jacobs end up leaving this game early on today. And Jordan Love, he's like one of those rhythm quarterbacks, play action, get him out on the run. And when that running game is not available, it seemed like it's a little bit too much on his plate. The offensive line is not able to protect for him as cleanly if he's just dropping back and passing the football. So this Green Bay team, their defense is going to continue to play outstanding, continue to get those stops. But they have to find a way to get this running game going in November, December if they want to be the team they want to be.
You know, we got to call it how we see it once again. Lots of drops and injuries throughout, as we said, for this Green Bay team. Jordan Love, 13 to 24, 174, 24 attempts. I know you can't let the media dictate a game script, JJ, but are you seeing the proper usage of the quarterback's talents by the play caller?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, and I think that Pat hit on it really well. When you lose a Josh Jacobs, is this a team led by Jordan Love where he can just sling it all around the yard and get 350 passing yards without having Josh Jacobs? I'm not entirely sure that is going to be the case. This is also a Packers team that sort of plays down to their opponents, or I should say they will play up in bigger games and they will play down to their opponents in lesser games. We saw them lose to the Carolina Panthers just a couple of weeks ago. Every time that you're like, oh, the Packers should blow this team out, then they don't do it because the Giants have an interim head coach. They're on a quarterback who was the 3rd string a few weeks ago. They don't have their number 1 or number 2 wide receiver. They don't have their mascot in Cam Scatterbo back there. And so the fact that the Giants, they didn't get a lucky 20 points, by the way.
Yeah.
They continued to convert on 4th downs. They had 9, 11, 15-play touchdown drives on this Packers defense. That is, to me, somewhat concerning if you are a Green Bay fan and you're saying, okay, yeah, we escaped with this win. Definitely needed the win, but the Giants got 20 points very honestly today.
And what you said about Green Bay about them playing down to the level of their competition, you know what that tells all of us? They're not there yet.
Yeah.
They're not the team that we thought they would be. I'm not saying they're not a good team, but when we came into this season, we all visualized the Green Bay Packers as a potential championship-like contender. Championship contenders don't play down to their opponent.
Yeah.
They take care of their business by any means necessary. They were able to do so today, but to your point, JJ, over the last few ball games, the Carolina Panthers, Cleveland Browns, they played down to their opponent and they lost.
I also think we were seeing and will continue to see the effects of no Tucker Kraft in this offense. He has been the most potent part of that passing attack, even though you had a young receiver in Golden and you got other guys like Dobbs and Watson. Most consecutive games with 20-plus points in a loss. The Giants, 2-9 start in consecutive seasons for the first time in franchise history.
Let's start on offense for the Broncos. We always look at that defense, but they are doing just enough to win. But now they lose J.K. Dobbins to a season-ending injury. So how do they do enough today against a strong defense for the Chiefs?
Yeah, Emily, let's start with the loss of J.K. Dobbins. Certainly huge for this Denver offense, not only on the field, but off the field, as he was a leader of this team. And speaking with Sean Payton, he will not be available for the rest of this season. He has a Lisfranc injury, had surgery already this week, and that is a big loss. But Payton told us he feels really comfortable with the rookie R.J. Harvey carrying more of the load. Expect to see Jaleel McLaughlin as well. But speaking with Bo Nix, he knows that he's struggled over the last 2 games, and they had a chance during this mini bye to really get back to some things. And what Bo Nix talked to us about was really focusing on cadence and communication, getting in and out of the huddle better. And he also talked about his footwork. He felt like his feet just weren't in the right position. So we worked on that during that bye. They really did a lot of game reps during those few days, and they're hoping to see some effects of it here, but certainly will be a big challenge going against Steve Spagnuolo and this Chiefs defense.
Yeah, only so much in-season corrections you can do, but it sounds like they took full advantage of that time. On the other side of things, if the playoffs started today, hard to believe the Chiefs would be out. So what level of urgency do you sense in Kansas City after talking with the team?
Well, there certainly is a sense of urgency. It's weird we haven't felt this urgency before Thanksgiving from a Chiefs team, but certainly they talked to us about it. Andy Reid mentioned it, and Patrick Mahomes. We heard Chris Jones talk about it at the podium this week, and they understand what's at stake, but they've also played in big games like this. And remember, they're coming off of a bye, and Andy Reid is 22-4 coming off of a bye. They certainly had some time to prepare for this one, and we know that this Chiefs team, we know that Patrick Mahomes, they're not lacking confidence coming into this one.
Yeah, you mentioned Andy Reid, 22-4 coming off a bye. Here's another statistic. Mahomes, 13-1 against the Broncos. But this Denver team, they like to make life hard on opposing quarterbacks, and NFL leading 46 sacks. So how will pressure and protection be a factor in this game?
Yeah, certainly that is the key to the game. And speaking with defensive coordinator Vance Joseph this week, he talked to us about how they built their defense to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs. Rushing for, but also being able to cover. And that's what they've been able to do. And certainly it will be a big challenge for Patrick Mahomes, for this Chiefs offense and this offensive line. And speaking of this Chiefs offensive line, Jalen Moore just came out, and we were told earlier before the game that he is questionable with an illness. Now remember, he has started the last 4 games because Josh Simmons has been out because of personal matters. Now Josh Simmons has returned. Andy Reid telling us he looked good in practice. He feels really comfortable if they are starting him today. We'll see about that as they take the field. But certainly it's going to come down to this offensive line versus this defensive front of the Broncos.
Seems to be a theme for a lot of Chiefs games. Let's end here. Win or lose, Denver will still lead the AFC West, but they're actually home dogs in this game. So after talking with the team, what's the mindset right now for the Broncos?
Confidence. They have a lot of confidence. I don't think they really are thinking about the fact that they're home dogs. I mean, it kind of makes sense with the success that the Chiefs have had against them, but they are playing with confidence. They've won those tight games, and Sean Payton telling us he had a lot of conversations with them this week about recognizing the moment, understanding what's at stake. And right now, to be honest, I think they feel like they're playing with house money with that lead that they have in the AFC West. I had a chance to listen in to Bill Cowher on the NFL Today, and he said maybe this is an opportunity for Denver to maybe take some chances because they are playing with somewhat of house money. But certainly they want this victory, and that will go a long way towards their confidence and the ability to maybe secure an AFC West title if they could beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, sometimes you see teams play a little bit looser. Tracy Wolfson, thank you so much. These teams, of course, have combined for the last 15 AFC West titles, so we are in for